So regarding the Java, as I told, the Java is completely the object-oriented programming language, and there are the two paradigms differentiating between the programming languages. That is the procedure-oriented programming language and the object-oriented programming language. So all of you studied the C programming language during your first year, right? So that C programming language is completely the procedure-oriented programming language in which you are going to write the series of the steps one by one, and the compilation and the execution of such programs will be in serial order. That is, the flow of the data will be from the one line to the other until you get the output from the input. So the way in which the program is written with the series of the steps which are going to be executed one after the other in a particular procedure. So the such kind of the programming languages are said to be as the procedure oriented programming language. See, I'm briefly telling you, I'm not going to discuss it detail once again. Already I have discussed it in the last class. So I'm just briefing you what I have discussed in the last class. Those who are attending today's class, directly today's class, you can go through the book which I have uploaded, or else you can go through the any of the videos. You have the plenty of the videos to get to know about these basic theoretical concepts of the object oriented programming, right? So hardly only two or three concepts are there. Even if you read only the textbook, probably you will be able to understand it. Okay, so first read it, first go through it. Even though if you are not understanding, or if you are not comfortable with these concepts, then let me know in the tomorrow's class. We'll have the once again in the deep discussion on those topics. Okay, so regarding the two paradigms, we have the procedure oriented programming language and the object oriented programming language, right? So you have the one more concept to make the object oriented programming efficient, to say that it is going to differentiate from the procedure oriented programming language, is the abstraction. So what is this abstraction? Is abstraction is the one where you are going to not reveal all the details to the all kind of the users. Like, for example, you take the example of the car itself. A driver is also a user of the car, and a mechanic is also a user of the car, right? So probably the driver, what knowledge does he have about the car is regarding only the driving parts of the car. So in the same case, he might not be interested, or he might not have the in-depth knowledge about the how machine works, how it has been imparted, what were the parts of the engine and all, right? So in the same way, the mechanic might be having the in-depth knowledge. So there are the two scenarios in this example to tell you that the for any machine, or even if you consider the programming part, so there will be always the two aspects to say that the all the data, or all the methods or the variables what you are going to take into the program might not be useful to the or everyone, or the all kinds of the users. So in that case, you are going to hide, or you are going to not reveal the things which are not at all applicable to the any kind of the user. So in order to use the such kind of the concept, it is being provided as a part of the object oriented programming, which is termed as the abstraction here. Okay, so to the object oriented programming languages, there are the three main principles on which it has been built, and which is going to make it more strong about the programming language here. So the what are those are, the first one is the encapsulation, second one is the inheritance, and third one is the polymorphism here. Okay, so what is encapsulation here? So I told in the last class that the encapsulation is used to make the restriction on the visibility of the methods or the variables that you use in your program, right? So in case if you consider the example of the C programming language, so I hope you remember at least little about the C programming language, right? So in that case, if you remember, you have the two parts over there: declaration of the variables and operations on the variables. Either it may be to the from the subclass, or from the directly the functions that you have written into the main program only, right? So in the both the cases, the variables whatever you are going to use, those are accessible to the all the methods that you are going to define into the program over there, right? So you don't have anything like that to put the restriction on that the which functions can access the which kind of the variables, or else the which methods are going to be visible to the all the users over there. So this feature has been implicated in the Java programming language, where it is going to allow the developer to put a restriction on the visibility of the either the variables or the methods. So that concept of hiding the data or hiding the methods, that is wrapping up what now just one of you said, that the wrapping in the sense covering something from the others, right? So that is said to be as an encapsulation, where you can or you will be allowed to hide by using the access specifiers here. So how many access specifiers are there? There are three access specifiers: public, private, and the protected here. Okay, so public in the sense where you will allow any can use that data or the method, anyone can use that data or method. So private in the sense, you can say that the only where you have declared on, only where you have used it, only that class or the method can use that method. Okay, so that is said to be the private, whereas the protected in the sense you can give the access to the sum of the methods or the sum of the classes wherever it is required. So as and when we will proceed with the further concepts, you will get to know in detail in the programming itself that how does it is going to help or help to protect the data or the methods, which is termed as the encapsulation here. Okay, so regarding the inheritance, all of you know the meaning of the inheritance, right? So it is just getting the characteristics or imparting the characteristics from the parent to the child, right? So in the same way, you have the plenty of the examples regarding the inheritance, but with the programming concept of view, what is inheritance is, so yeah, as I told you, in Java programming language, if you say the object oriented programming languages, two concepts are going to be very important, that is the class and the objects. So here you are going to divide the entire program into the different parts known as the classes, for which you need to create the objects, right? So in such cases, suppose if you have the any subclasses which are going to be derived from the parent class, in that case the characteristics of the parent class is, or the parent class will be sent to the child classes along with its unique characters. So in cultivating or getting the characteristics from the parent to the child is said to be as a inheritance over here. So this thing also, everything whatever we are discussing just now, you just try to understand the definition of the meaning of these terms. So the rest of the implementation or how does it is going to be used in a programming part, you will get to know once we proceed with the further syllabus. Okay, so polymorphism is regarding the defining the many functions of the same name here. So you, if you are defined a one function, you can use it for the many different methods, that is said to be as the polymorphism. So one example that I have given in the last class is regarding the cat movement, right? So suppose if you are developing a game, or if you are writing a program where you want to tell that when the cat has to move, right? So there are the three scenarios, that when if the cat smells towards the food, it is going to move towards the food. If the cat smells about the fish, or sorry, mouse, it is going to move towards the mouse. If the cat yes, voice is not clear. Just a minute.
No, ma'am, it is breaking.
Okay. Hello, is it clear now
Yes, ma'am.
yes ma'am to everyone? Okay. Okay, so what I was discussing is regarding the polymorphism. So yesterday I took an example of a game where you need to make a decision that where the cat has to move. Right. So there are the three scenarios, right? So when the cat smells about the food, it has to move towards the food, and when the cat smells about the mouse, it has to move towards the mouse, and when the cat smells about the its owner, it has to move towards its owner. Right. So in all these three scenarios, what is the common part is smelling and the movement. Right. So instead of writing a program for each time separately for the movement of the cat and moving towards it, it would have been done in a procedure oriented programming. But in the object oriented programming, what you can do is you can write it once. So you can write this program once, that is the movement of the cat and smelling of the cat nature. So you can write these two methods only once, but it can be used for the three different purposes here. That by passing the parameter as object or the input of the different cells and the different destinations to move. That means the same method can be used for the three different functions here. So I hope the concept is little clear here, isn't it? So poly in the sense many, polymorphism in the sense many of the same kind. Right. So this is all the things what I have discussed in the last class. Right. So those who have directly joined today class, I recommend you to go through all these things from your book, and let me know if you are not yet clear so that we can discuss it once again in detail in tomorrow's class. Okay. So shall we proceed with the further concept now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So all I want all of you to note down this example. So in today's class, completely we are going to discuss in detail what does the each of the line means over here. Okay. So it is a simple program to tell you that how or what is the syntax that is used in any Java program. So I want all of you to note down it. Only by just listening or reading, you will not be able to understand the things, or you will not be able to remember the things. So for that, you have to write it at least once in class. Okay. So note it down and let me know when you get finished. But don't take a long time. Try to finish it in 2 minutes. I want you to note down everything right from the first line, that is the slash star. This is a simple Java program, everything, and up to the last closing bracket here. Completed?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Over, ma'am.
Okay. Everyone? Did everyone noted it down? See, usually I don't have the habit of asking you to copy everything, but whenever I ask you to note down few things, no, genuinely it is needed for you. Okay. So this is how the Java programming works. Alright. So one by one we'll start the discussion here. So you can see the first line started with the forward slash star, and you have written some two lines over there which says that this is a simple Java program. Call this file with the example.java, and then you have ended with another star and followed by the forward slash. So first one is also the forward slash and another one is also forward slash, but you can see the difference here is First, you have taken the forward slash, then star. You have taken the star and the forward slash. This entire part together is said to be as the comment line. Am I audible clearly or not? Is my voice audible or not?
Ma'am, but it is breaking,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Breaking, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's something breaking, ma'am.
Again breaking.
Lagging, ma'am.
Now it's okay, madam. But in middle it is breaking, ma'am.
See, I will be you'll that the
Now it
will
is
not
breaking,
do
ma'am.
that well.
It is breaking, ma'am.
Oh,
Ma'am,
okay.
ma'am, previous was better, ma'am. Previous
Previous was
Wi-Fi.
better. Okay. Let me change it once again.
Now it's clear, ma'am.
I have not yet spoken anything. Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So the first part is this comment line. This is said to be as the comment line programming. So do you remember what is the comment lines or for what purpose it is used in the programming languages?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, for
Yes,
what
ma'am.
purpose it is?
It will
To
help
understand
for user.
others.
Uh, are you getting what I'm asking you? This first
ma'am.
part is regarding the comment
Yes, ma'am.
lines. So my simple question to you people is comment lines are not new to this Java programming language. Comment lines is a common to the every programming language that you learn, right? So you might have studied it in the C programming language as well. But for what purpose the comment lines are used in the any programming languages?
It is used
To
for
understand the
aim of
program, ma'am.
program.
To understand the program in
It is
easier
used
way, ma'am.
for
Aim of the
To
program.
understand the program, ma'am.
to understand the program in the aim of the program.
To
To
Increases the
understand the
understand the
program.
program. Okay. See, to understand the program is the one part. Okay. So what usually the developers, so developers in the sense the one, very good. The someone said that to increase the readability of the program, right? So to make it more readable to the everyone who have that program with them or the document of that program with them. So such for them it makes them to easily read this program and understand the program. Okay. So for this comment line, what has been mentioned in this example, this kind of comment lines is said to be as the multi-line comment lines, right? So like this, you have the three types of the comment lines in the Java. So the first one is the multi-line comment line, the second one is the single line comment, and the third one is the documentation comment here, right? So what is the difference between the multi-line, single line, and the documentation comment here? So as the name itself indicates, you can see here we have written the comments in the two lines, right? So one below the other. So whenever you have the comments, large comments to be written for the any part of the program, for example, it may be restricted to it may be restricted even to a single line or the more number of the lines, any number of the lines. So in such case you can go for using the multi-line comment. And how it has to be used is, as I told you, forward slash followed by the star and the any number of the lines as a comment that you want to type here, and then it has to end with the star and the again forward slash. So if you have used this kind of the comment lines, it is said to be as the multi-line comment, right? So the second one is the single line comment. So whenever you have the very short sentence to be written as a comment in the program, in that case you need not have to use this part. You can instead go for the single line comment. So how to use the single line comment? Just include the two forward slashes followed by the text. Just include two forward slashes followed by a text which has to complete within a single line here. So that is said to be as the single line comment, and you need not have to complete it with anything else over here. You have to just start with the two slashes, forward slashes, followed by the single line text. Right. So this kind of the comment is said to be as the single line comment. And last one is the documentation comment, which is going to be written as a separate file. So entire comment is going to be created as a separate file, and the details regarding this kind of the comment will cover it in the later in this chapter when we'll discuss in detail. Right. So why I'm telling you with this slide is you might be asked for the 3 to 5 marks regarding explain the different kinds of the comment lines supported in the Java programming language as a theory question. Right. So if you wish, you can make a note of the questions whenever I'll be telling you. So these are the few theory questions that you might get. Though it seems to be easy, you should be able to remember the term that has been given for the each kind of the comment here, like multi-line comment, single line comment, and documentation comment. Along with that, you should write even the syntax to tell that how it is differentiated with the each of the comments here. Like the first multi-line comment has to be written with the forward slash and the star, and the single line comment has to be written with the two slashes, and documentation will discuss it later. Okay. So regarding the next line of this example here, so this class is a keyword here, right? So this class, like the data types what you have studied in the C, like int, float, or the printf,
Yes,
scanf, those are said to be as the keywords. I hope you are familiar with the term keyword, right? So do I
yes,
have to explain you what is the keyword?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
so just okay. So, so just understand for the time being that these words or these letters which are termed as the keywords in the any programming language should not be used for the any other purposes in the program, right? So like me that class is a keyword which has to be used only here whenever you want to define the or create the any classes, right? So you can see here class example has been taken. So you can see here E has been taken as a capital letter here. So that means the class has to begin with the capital letter here. Right. So Java is a case sensitive program. So wherever you use the any identifiers, you have to use it in the same way. That means whenever you want to use this class once again in the same program, make sure that both the times it has to be in the same cases. So here E is a capital, rest of the letters are in the lowercase letters. It has to be used in the same way whenever it is required in the somewhere else in the same program over here. So that is said to be as a case sensitive. Okay. So here you can see the class has been defined the example, and once again you have the command in here. Your program begins with the call to the main, right? So you can see that within the class you have the main function here. Okay. So as contrast to the what you have seen in the C programming language, here the main is going to be written in the class, and the class which contains the main function is the one which is going to be executed first or the compiled first when you run the program here. Okay, so for that you have few points to discuss here. The first thing that you must learn about the Java is that the name you give to the source file. Right. See, once you type the any program, you should be very careful while saving that file what the name has to be given to that file. Right. So for example, in this you can see here the class which contains the main function. You have to concentrate on the class which contains the main function. Here you can see the main function is here public static void main. That means this example class contains the main function, and your file has to be saved with this same name what you have created here as a class. So you can see here for this example the name of the source file should be example.java. Am I clear? So you should not create the any other class name, because when you write the Java, when you create a Java file, you might come across with the n number of the classes in the same file, right? But for what name or which to which name the file has to be saved is to the class which contains the main function here, and that too with the same class along with the same cases of the letters here. So this that means this entire example, this en this entire example has to be saved with the this name itself. So you can see here example.java and with the extension as a .java. Okay. So in Java, a source file is officially called a compilation unit. Just a minute, pardon for me a minute. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, so in Java, a source file is officially called as a compilation unit. It is a text file that contains one or more class definitions. The Java compiler requires that source file use the .java file extension. So once to run or the compile, it always searches for the class which has the main function there. Right. So how it is going to be compiled? So before that, we'll try to run this program and then I'll tell you. Okay. See, right now even I have not at all installed the Java in my system. Once I'll install it today, in tomorrow's class, I'll tell you how you will be able to install the Java. So, how many of you have the systems with you, either the system or the laptops?
Have
So that we'll have the execution, right? So until and unless I tell you how to install the Java and if you have the Java, you can directly work on it, no matter. So to them who doesn't have the Java in your systems, I'll conduct tomorrow's session only for the installation and practicing the program, right? So at least for today, what do? You can go to the Google and you can search for the online Java editor and the compiler. Even if you do not have, or if you have the any problem in the installation in your system, so at that time always you can go for this. And whichever the online tool you can use it. The better one is the tutorialspoint.com. So the first search, you just click on it. Sorry, I think these things are not visible to you, right? Hmm.
not visible.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
Yes, ma'am.
okay? So go to the Google, search for the online Java editor and compiler. So probably you will get the n number of the platforms here. You can go for the any platform of your choice. But however, the better one is this tutorialspoints.com. Just click on it and it will take you to the editor. You need not have to install anything. So online you will be able to run the program here, right? So you can see here already it has given with the some predefined statements here. So you can edit as per your requirement here. So I'll go with the exactly the same way what I have shown in your in the slide there. So example, so we want to define the class name as an example, and the function that we want to take into this class is public static void main with the same thing, system.print.outline. I'll just type here it with anything as a Java programming. So I have typed the program here and I'll execute the programs. To execute, you can see here you have a tab termed as a execute here. So I'll execute. Okay, so you can see you got the result as a Java programming here. So the one what we have taken in this statement, don't worry. But why I have shown here you the execution is here. So before that you can see here, if you do not use the online platform, if you have installed the Java in your system, probably this is the way how you are going to execute in the compiler while compiling, right? So once you have completely typed your program, if you want to compile it in order to know whether you have done any mistakes, or whether if you have the any errors in your program, at that time which command you need to use is java c all in lowercase letters. Here you can see here, even I have just clicked on the execute, it is going to execute with the commands required for the execution here, right? So java c, what you need to compile, you need to compile the file which you have named. So you can see here I have not saved this file, right? So instead I'm running it online, but implicitly it has to save with some name, right? So what name it has considered here? The same name what has been taken for the class which has the main function here. So the name of the class is example here, so the same name has been considered for the name of the file as well with the .java extension here. Okay, so then java, the name of the command to run the program in order to get the result is, you can take the command name as a java, and don't worry about these two terms, these are ignorable. You need not have to take these two when you are running it in the installed java in your system, right? Java, and you have to specify the name of the class where the main function exists. As I told you, always the execution of the java programming is going to start with the class where it contains the main function, right? So to in order to get the result, java followed by the name of the class which contains the main function example, right? So you'll be able to see the result as the java programming here, right? So the one which has been taken to display something on the screen with this method, it is showing you the result here. Okay, so what we'll discuss some theory behind this, why does it done so, right? So you can see here compiling the program. As I told you, the command used for compilation is java c. Do remember this, java c all in lowercase letters. If you want, you can note down it, followed by the name of the file. The name of the file should be exactly same with the class name where you have defined the main function, right? Example.java. Why is that so? Why you need to do in this way is, the java c compiler creates a file called example.class that contains the bytecode version of the program. So why I told you, or why it has been instructed that you need to take the same class where you have taken with, where you have defined the main function as the file name is. Why? Because when it compiles, the compiler, what it does implicitly, it is going to create a file known as the example.class. Example.class in the sense this one, it is going to create a separate file with the example.class for, but for what purpose it is going to do? It is going to do for it for that to storing the bytecode version of the program. Now what is bytecode version here? So bytecode version is an intermediate code which is used which is used to convert the language or the code what has been written with a high level language to the machine level language. Now what is this? Does any one of you have the idea? Bytecode is nothing but the intermediate language which is going to convert the high level language to the machine language, where the machine has to understand the language in order to execute the program. Okay, so does anyone have the know about this? Okay, so every compiler have this,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So every compiler, whichever the programming language that you take, every compiler does this, because whatever the code that we are writing as a developer, it is said to be as the high level language which is understood by the human beings, right? So we are using the English language to write the program which is understandable to the human beings. But when you want to run that into the system, there should be some platform where the machine also should understand what you have written. So in order to make the machine to understand and run that program, it is going to convert into the intermediate language which is said to be as the machine language, right? So in java it is said to be as the term or the concept that has been given to this machine language is said to be as the bytecode, which is created by the compiler when you compile the program, and which will be stored in the class. So implicitly it is going to create a class known as a example dot class. So automatically it is going to take the name of the class which you have defined for the one where you have created the main function here. So whatever you take here, so the same name is going to be taken for creating this class where it is going to store the bytecode, and which is going to link with the name of the source file when you want to know the output. So that's the reason why it is given or instructed to take the same class as a one which is containing the main function in order to save the file there. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
clear? Why I'm explaining you here is you might be asked in your examination as a theory question that justify why you need to take the same name of the source file to the class where it contains the main function. So in that case, it might be for the 1 or the 2 marks. You should be able to justify that statement over there. Okay. So to run the program, as I told you, you require the command known as a Java followed by the name of the class where you have created the main function, right? So when you run this program, you'll be able to see the output what I have taken here. Okay. So coming to the other lines here, so is everyone clear with the comment lines and you are clear with the keyword class and followed by the name of the class? So to begin with writing the contents into the class, you need to use the flower braces here, right? So it has to begin with the opening flower brace followed by, in order to create the main function, you have the three keywords to be used here: public, static, void, main here. Okay, so before using the main, see, make sure that the main needs to be all in the lowercase letters only. If you take the M as a capital while typing, it is something different. You might not get the error over there. Instead, it will just consider it as another function. But once you run the program, it will search for the main, which is with the lowercase letters, in order to start executing your program. At that time, it will ask you for the main function has been not written in your entire program there. So in order to avoid that, make sure that the main function has to be written all in the lowercase letters here. Now what is this public keyword, right? So why it has been written as a public here, just tell me. While explaining the encapsulation, I briefly told you what is the public, what is the private and the protected, right? So these are said to be as the access specifiers here, right? So why this
all
main
wrong.
function, yes, why the main function has been declared as a public? Because the main is the one which needs to be executed by everyone, for which it should be mandatorily written as a public only, where the execution is going to be started. Okay. Now, what is meant by the static here? What is meant by the static here? What is meant by the static void? Instead, you can say.
Constant, ma'am.
Yeah, constant. The main function is not going to be changed here. It is going to remain as it is to all the programs what you are writing. But what is the void here? You even have used this void keyword for in C also, right? Void
It
main,
do not
void main,
return
right?
any,
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
no return
Which
value.
doesn't return anything. If any function is going to return some value, you are going to use that function with the data type of what kind of data it is going to return. For example, int, float, or the character or the string, right? But here you have taken it as a wide main, means the main is not going to return anything. For that reason, it has to be taken as a wide here. Follow to that, you have the parenthesis here. So these are the parameters that you are going to pass to the main function, right? Suppose if you do not have the any parameters to be passed, even though you have to take it as a string args with the empty braces, to tell that you don't have the any arguments to be passed, but it has to be considered in the same way. I'll tell you what is the requirement for taking this. This is going to be helpful when you run the program by passing the command line arguments, right? So for timing, you just understand that even though if you do not have anything to pass as a parameters to this main function, you have to take it as a string, the object of the string as a arguments array. This is said to be as an array, and this is again the method string of which you want to use as a arguments here. Okay. So once you have taken this statement, again you need to open the another flower brace to write the some statements or whatever you want to do in the main function, right? So in this example, what has been done, you can see here a method or a function has been taken like system.out.println, right? So it is exactly the same way how you take as a print in Python, printf in C, right? So the same way the Java uses the method known as the system.out.println in order to display something on the screen, right? So println is a method of the class from the system.out, right? So in order to display anything, you are supposed to use this method in the Java. But how it has to start? It has to start with a capital S mandatorily. As I told you, the Java is a case sensitive. Make sure you use all the keywords the way exactly how it is defined by the Java, right? So yes, capital, rest of the letters lowercase letters, dot, out, and println all in the lowercase letters, and into the bracket you are going to take the whatever the message that you want to display on the screen in the double quotes here. Okay, so this is a very simple example to just begin with the Java, to make you familiar with the Java program that you can write. So have everyone understood the every single statement over here? Regarding the string
Yes, ma'am.
argument, don't get confused. You will get to know once we start writing the more programs and once we proceed with the further syllabus, right? So but apart from this, is everyone clear with the rest of the lines here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so further things will continue in the next class, right? So before the next class, I just want you to go through the contents from the book and try to write these programs by your own. So though yeah, it is very easy, but you should become familiar with the syntax and the keywords of the Java programming. So that's the reason why I'm telling you to write it once again in your book. Okay. Today is Wednesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Probably we have our next class on the directly next Monday itself, right? So before that, I just want you to go through the, I want you to write or understand the few concepts or go through the some content from the internet, right? So the what are those concepts? Are I want you to learn more about the encapsulation. I'm not speaking about the programming part. I'm speaking about the theoretical part. Either you may get to know by reading the book, or else you can search from the internet as well. I want you to get to know more about the encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. And one more thing, I just want you to write the differentiation between the object oriented programming language and the procedure oriented programming language. Okay, will you do that before attending the next class?
Sure.
Okay. So right now we'll wind up the class. We'll continue the further things in the next class.
Ma'am, may I got to know the ID for Java, ma'am, so that we can install it till Monday?
Uh, we'll do one thing. I'll make a video on it and I'll share. If I get a proper video from the YouTube itself, I'll share it with you.